Okay.
Start wrapping up. Our lecture is pretty long today, so I just want to get started quickly. So finish up whatever question you're on, and we'll start in a couple of minutes. Okay, we're gonna get started. So just finish typing a couple of last words, and you guys definitely have time to finish it during the lab, so don't worry about it. Okay, so today is a pretty information-intensive lecture, more so than last week, if you guys thought that was pretty intensive. And so today we're going to learn about CSS layouts and positioning. So a couple of announcements. What? Oh, yeah, here's the code. You want to do it now. 885582. You can do it later, too. Okay, so a couple of announcements. I just want to clarify what I said about last week about turning in labs, because I think that was really confusing. So when you turn in labs, you need to STP them, or SFTP them to your server, and make sure they're visible from, like your actual lab file should be visible from this URL. So it's.h/cs188 and your ID, and then / whatever lab it is. That's where we're going to be. That's what we're going to be typing in to check the lab. And you also need to turn in a blank text file on the course website under whatever lab it is as well. And this week's lab is lab 4, so all the labs are matching the lecture number to make it less confusing. Because we didn't have a lab or quiz on the first lecture. And also, a couple of you have seen this, but if you didn't know already, there's a view your missing assignments and absences on the website link. If you log in and on the sidebar, you see your little CS188 whatever. If you click that, it'll take you to your profile, and you'll be able to see if you're missing any absences or if you're missing any assignments. So a lot of people haven't yet turned in Lab 2 or Lab 3. Remember, we just need you to upload a blank text file. As long as all of your files are on the server, that's fine. And if you have an absence and you think you were actually here, just come talk to us and we'll do that. And don't forget that absences are really important, because if you get 3 absences, we will fail you. So. Yes.
So whenever it's worth, there should be a tilde before the CS1.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, this should have a tilde. Okay. My bad. Yeah. So if it's visible from there, you're good. And then you also need to upload a blank text. It doesn't even matter what it is. You can even upload the lab PDF, like under the assignment LabX, just so we have some record of you submitting something. Yeah. Oh, also, this is pretty exciting. Maybe not so exciting for some of you, but Mini Project 1 is coming out next week. So you'll get the project spec next week. It'll probably be due in 2 weeks. It'll basically encompass all you guys have learned already, like making a website, HTML, CSS, etc. So if you guys pay attention in the lab, you should be perfectly fine. Today's agenda, we're going to talk about layouts, kind of going, right now we've only done HTML and kind of CSS, but we haven't actually really integrated them together to create an actual like website with like layout and everything. So we're going to talk about the whole process of doing that. Go over a couple of CSS properties that are very important to doing layouts. Talk about fixed versus fluid versus elastic layouts. And then we have a quick worksheet for you. We'll be doing a lot of interactive stuff to make sure you actually get the positioning like ideas, because it's kind of complicated. Or like there are a lot of subtleties that you have to remember. So we'll be going over a lot of things like a lot of like activities, I guess, together. Okay. So Alex did this slide. I'm not really sure what this means. I guess it's like when you wake up in the morning and there's like stuff to come or something. So we haven't built like real websites yet. What you guys have been doing is kind of like an HTML website. This is what you guys did for your first class, if you forgot already. And we're going to try to transform. Oh, today we're going to learn about like actually doing layouts and kind of dissecting the whole layout of existing websites into different divs and spans. That's actually how websites are made. So if you remember, divs are for sectional content. And if you make different divs, you can kind of arrange them in different positions to make what you see, to make like an actual website. So we use background images to spice up our websites. As you see here, there are a lot of background images. This coffee cup image, all of these have different images. They probably have some kind of texture to make it look better. And use CSS positioning to create modular and non-linear layouts. And of course, later we'll be learning about JavaScript, PHP, MySQL, etc. to make more dynamic websites. And hopefully, we'll be creating websites that are on par with the websites that you see like in today's world, like Web 2.0 kind of websites. If you go to cssremix.com, it's one of the resources that we listed on the last website for CSS. And there are a lot of cool like websites that you guys can use for inspiration. I use CSS Remix a lot for my own inspiration. Just go on there and click and look at pretty websites. See if you think of something. Okay, so we'll be building a Web 2.0 website. I guess the first step is you need to find your inspiration. Like what I said before, this can come from anywhere. I usually go online and look at existing websites to see what kind of new like trends there are, like new types of layouts, new patterns, new like JavaScript animations or whatever. You need to choose a layout style, and we'll go over the different layout styles. Usually make a Photoshop mockup. This is actually Alex's. If you guys knew Alex, he was a facilitator last semester. And this is his portfolio, and this is him creating a complete mock-up of his website in Photoshop. So that's what I usually do too. So before I create the actual website, before I code it up, I create it in Photoshop first to make sure it looks good and to get any like details down. Are there any questions, by the way? We haven't really gotten technical yet, but just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
Do we need to know Photoshop for this?
We'll be teaching you Photoshop next week.
Oh.
Yeah, and we'll just have you guys download like trials or something with your CS students. Sorry, we won't be giving out any free Photoshop versions beyond our budget. Our budget of $0. Okay. And once you have a Photoshop layout, if you want to keep some of those image styles, sometimes you would slice and dice things. So, for example, there's like, Alex has a pretty neat like image gallery kind of thing. So what you would do in Photoshop, they actually let you slice parts of your image. So if you have a lot of graphics that you want to use like for your background or your header or something, you can slice things up and it'll actually output HTML for you to put them all together. So it's pretty nice. And we'll be learning about that next week. Okay, so choosing a layout. What do I mean by layout? Okay, by layout, it's basically the placement and interaction of your site's components, so how you position them and how people interact with them. There are a lot of different types of layouts. If you think about how many combinations things there are, they're basically infinite, but there are a lot that have better design patterns and are more common.